So, hello Year 6, welcome to our third art lesson, not English lesson, sorry, of the week. And today we're looking at using a single point to focus to create a 3D landscape. So, how to draw a one-point perspective. And perspective is the key term that I hope you really understand by the end of this lesson. So, a one-point perspective is a drawing method that shows how things appear to get smaller as they get further away. So, if you stood next to a building, it would look quite big. The further away from that building you get, the smaller it looks. Okay? And they converge towards a single vanishing point. That's the horizon line where things get so small you can no longer see them. It is a way of drawing objects upon a flat piece of paper or other drawing surface so that they look three-dimensional and give that realistic element. So here, if we have a look at this picture, we've got some rules of perspective. So true shapes, vanishing points, and horizon lines. In one-point perspective, surfaces that face the viewer appear as their true shape, without any distortion. So can you see these tiles are true shape? The edge of the bath is its actual shape, the shower, and so on. They're all an accurate shape. Okay? They are drawn using horizontal and vertical lines. So vertical, up and down, you can see that, and horizontal across, side to side. Right. What you'll also see is these bits of the bathroom here are bigger than those bits, and that isn't because this drawer is bigger than, let's say, that wall of tiles, but it's because the distance that we are from the wall of tiles is obviously further than the drawer, so therefore they look smaller. Here is an example of what we want you to create today. So we have a one-point perspective, and there's your single point and the distance. We're using road lines, and you can see they're very straight lines going towards a certain point. I'm going to go through a step-by-step video, and if you want to pause and do it step-by-step at the same time as I go through this video, that's fine. The sheet you are using to help you with this work today, you'll notice I gave you square paper. And the reason for that is it's going to help you with drawing your straight lines and also planning out your perspective, where things are going to go. So let's go back. So the first thing I'd like to do is pick a point. And you'll see the point we've picked here on this is the midpoint of our page. So it's the midpoint of our page. The lines that go to that point from the outside go directly from the corners of our squared paper and go straight to that point. These lines are about 2 to 3 squares in from the edge. Now it's up to you as you plan your space and what you want to include. You'll have to think about how much space you're willing to give up. And these, again, go from here all the way to that midpoint again. So mark your midpoint first and then create these lines. Use a ruler or a straight edge if you can. And then from here, we have some very faint lines that again go from our top corner to our midpoint and from here to our midpoint. And then from the middle of the page, and they go straight horizontal across the page. We've also got some vertical lines going down. Maybe want to go 2 squares across each time. But these are creating shapes for our buildings. It gives us a box to work within to create our buildings. And as you can see, what we've done is we've created those buildings. So we've drawn around, we've picked out which lines we want to use. We've left a little gap between them, but each time we get to the top here, we go across again, going across those horizontal lines. And we can start to add details at that point. Add windows, add a roof, change the shapes, play around with it. You see how we go from those shapes to those shapes. So this line, this box here, up, down, and down, that's going to be these lines, up, down, and down. This line is going to cut across, and it's just going to go horizontal, as is this one. On the other side, instead of adding buildings, you could try adding trees. Now it's up to you because it's your picture, it's your artwork, how you want to do it. You could add more buildings if you'd like to. And then we're going for detail. So what's changed? We've got pavement lines across the edge to create that pavement look. We've put something in the distance. Now remember, the sun would obviously be enormous, but it's in the distance, so it's going to look smaller. We've got the lines down the middle of the road, and again, they look like they're getting smaller, so we're planning all that in. The trees are getting smaller. That will naturally happen if you planned these lines in. If you draw these lines in here, and you keep your trees between the top and bottom line, as we have in ours, you will see they get smaller naturally. The buildings get smaller naturally. We're creating that perspective. That's why I've given you square paper. Okay? Now at that point you could add a car as well. Now that is really the step-by-step approach we want you to take. So the key bit for me, the most important part of this whole thing is you planning that out like that. If you can do that properly, the rest of the work will fit in nice and easily. You'll see the buildings fit within the lines we planned, the trees fit within the lines we planned, and then we can add the detail. We can go back and create that artwork that we want to create. And what we've done is create that 3D effect. The car looks like it's driving off into the distance. I hope you enjoy this, and I think it's a really nice way of creating a simple skill that will really help create that 3D impact into our artwork.